huge way this weekend.
And it's quite simple. History.
We're in it to win it, bud. 10-4. 3, 2, 1.
And you can hear the crowd.
History in the mission.
Changes the game totally.
Check the flag.
Well, I hope you had a great weekend. It was packed with goodies, especially the MAGA 250 Grand Prix. The Dems are falling apart. Their messaging is dying out. The mainstream media is doing all it can to lie their way through it all, but it isn't working. The immigration problems are mounting. European leaders have had enough also. The immorality message is also failing for the enemy. You got to keep staying in prayer. 515,000 followers on Rumble, our go-to for free speech. Thank you for hitting that follow button. Also, we were number 2 on the leaderboard for Rumble, right next to Dan Bongino. Thanks to you hitting that like button and placing comments below.
Our end of summer sale is here, and some of our favorite tees are marked down to over 40% off. You can shop our limited edition Jesus Saves, Make Heaven Crowded, Truth, Hope, Faith, Freedom tees, and sweatshirts, and more on sale today before they're gone for good. Shop at shop.andweknow.com.
That's right, andweknow.com. All you have to do is head to that site, our brand new site. And if you scroll down, you'll see our latest videos, or learning more about the 2027 Alaska cruise. Hopefully, a lot of you guys have perused through that, and you're looking forward to it next year. We have 2 comedians coming this time, 1 amazing singer, and some great guests. You will be amazed who is coming to that as we go through it. Hope you guys tune in to that.
And Mr. President, it has taken a lot of people to make this happen. Why was it important to you to bring IndyCar to the streets of D.C.?
Well, Roger told me they've been trying to do it for 20 years, and he'd come down. I think he said he was down 211 times to try and get it done. And when he came to see Trump, it got done in about 15 minutes, and it's turned out to be much bigger than we ever even thought possible. They actually closed the bridges. It's so many people want to come, and they've, I think, 350,000. And they close the bridges. You have a lot of people that want to come. So it's turned out to be, I think, bigger and better. And the weather is beautiful. You know, I was hearing about rain all week long. It's going to rain. It's going to rain. I said, no, it's not. And this is as nice a day as I've seen in Washington in a long time.
Well, you've been to a lot of sporting events in person. What are you most looking forward to about your first IndyCar race here at the Freedom 250?
Just that everyone's safe. They have a good time. The track is wonderful. You know, we're going around the Capitol, but this turned out to be a better track. And so now we see the Capitol. You see it right behind you. And I want everyone to be safe, and I want the people to have a good time.
Hold on, I'm coming. Il Donato Trumpo posted this video with that music, and it does a great job. Why did you see this?
This is history. Right here, right now. This is history. A new motor race conceived in liberty. The Freedom 250. As the drivers hurtle down in front of the Capitol building, they will round turn 1. They will see the green flag waved by President Trump. We have green. We are racing in the Freedom 250. Alex Palou with a great start down the inside, running down towards turn 1.
Did you hear that? Green, green. We have green. Oh, there were so many things about this 250. Comms were through the roof, and I'm going to go through some of those if you guys haven't heard. Many of them probably on other shows. Can't wait for the green light. Teams on standby, and DC Lindstone gave us that one. Also, we had this, the Federal Reserve Financial Service for the FedWire Fund Service will be implemented on July 14th, and they showed a green light back in July 2025. And Hodler said, you know, green light calm we had not long ago from the Federal Reserve. Well, it feels relevant considering the Clarity Act vote is coming up here soon. Trump also just met with crypto leaders at the White House days ago. We also have a 4-year finish line delta today. Finish line. And there's President Trump with that green flag. We're familiar. Many of you have been watching me for years. No, green is a very important. Go green. Julie Donuts found out that this was posted and saw it at 1:28 Eastern Standard Time. You're looking at that post there, and he's surrounded by the military. What's really interesting is 1328. Military is a person who loves, supports, and defends his or her country in its interest with devotion. A person who regards himself or herself as a defender, especially of individual rights against presumed interference by the federal government. What's a traitor? A traitor is a person who betrays another, a cause, or any trust. A person who commits treason by betraying his or her country. And I'm going to show you in a minute somebody who's betrayed the country, and I believe comms were given on that one. Oh yeah, you'll see it as they showed it at the at this event. It's actually an eagle. Think about that one. I'll show you in a moment. They want you divided. Divided, you're weak. Together, you're strong. There was an attempt to divide. There was, however, a strategic move to reveal. Be careful who you follow. Incorrect message translated, past autist, correction made, no names mentioned. They revealed themselves, fake and false incorrect decodes, removed and resolved. Fake and false claims of an unknown, allowed access to classified sealed indictments, removed, resolved. Do not fall victim to con artists. Use logic. Stay on point. This is not about a single person. It's not about fame or followers or profiteering. We the people, we the people, we the people. There will come a time they will not be safe walking down the street. We will not be held hostage. Sky event. Where we go one, we go all. Speaking of Sky event, look at those aircraft from the military flying in. The B-2, surrounded by 22 and some others. Man, it's just amazing. This event filled with so many comms, so many things, really showing us the power of the military. And in a moment, I'm going to show you how the Space Force started this whole event off with an amazing video. Now, here's another one I just mentioned a while ago. Look at this. That song, With the Eagle, is posted by Dan Scavino. What would that mean? You know, some folks are thinking, fly like an eagle to the sea. Well, just so happens that Hillary Clinton reportedly is planning Bill Clinton's funeral as 80-year-old ex-president's health concerns mount. Remember chatter. Bill and Hillary's public health will begin to rapidly deteriorate. We were given that calm in February 14, 2019. Nothing to see here. Move along. Well, just so happens, who was the eagle? The Secret Service eagle? Just happened to be, Bill Clinton. Another thing, very good catch here. At almost exactly 1:07 p.m., they wanted to start the whole race at 1:17 p.m. Why 17? To start an IndyCar race being held on the streets of the National Mall, President Donald J. Trump waved the green flag for the start of the contest on a street track that measured exactly, ready? The track was 1.7 miles long. Now they're either trolling us or something's up. Thanks, Brian Gates, for that one. Here's another thing I wanted you to notice.
Live look at the Beast. You heard the president talking about his plans. He will be in a special location.
Melissa Red Pill up and to catch this.
With us after greeting
the Beast actually went around the track.
If you had to drive the Beast, I wonder with those. I guess those guys. I don't know how fast they have to go. In the movies, we see them tearing
doing everything right.
Yeah.
So I think it's
President Trump in the Beast circling the track 7 times. 7 times. Reminds us of Joshua at the Battle of Jericho, circling the city 7 times before the walls of the evil city came crashing down.
And I was asking the drivers about Secret Service, about their experience, if they get special training.
They named the presidential vehicle the Beast because the New World Order, Beast of Revelation, Antichrist, controlled the president. They never figured on Trump riding in the Beast.
Really, their protection.
Here's another one right here. Remember, we were talking about the track. This was posted by the White House and some others. This weekend, DC Grand Prix. There it is. The track is right there in front of you, folks. 1.7 mile distance, 7 turns. Wow, 7 turns. 7 times they went around the walls of Jericho and the enemy was demolished. Oh, man, this is so good. So good. And I will show you how Space Force started this with this Operation 250. That and how this operation, I believe, is taking down the deep state one day at a time in a moment. Friends, let me ask you something. How long have you been trying to get healthy without really knowing what's going on inside your body? You've seen doctors, you followed advice, you may have tried diets or supplements that sounded right, but nothing really changed because you were still guessing. That's why my family and I work with Dr. Kelly Shockley. She doesn't guess, she tests.
One of the biggest ones that I didn't even know I had needed a win, and that is that I have stopped a dependency on melatonin after 10 years use, and in order to sleep. A lot of good results, but to stop that 10-year addiction has been just life-changing.
Dr. Kelly stepped outside the traditional medical system so she could do what the system simply doesn't allow. Look deeper, ask better questions, and get real answers.
And with complete and proper testing, and then actually interpreting those results differently than what the rest of the medical world does, we can find the why behind your diagnosis or the symptoms you're experiencing now that you didn't used to.
Through advanced testing, she uncovers what's actually driving symptoms: toxins, nutrient deficiencies, inflammation, stress patterns, the things you simply can't see without data. When we went through testing, she identified issues I had never even mentioned, things I didn't know were connected. That's when I realized how much I was guessing. This isn't cookie cutter care. It's not trend chasing. It's stewardship. God designed your body to heal, but you have to know what it needs. Testing lights the way. Go to corehealthadvantage.com/AUK, learn how testing works, and decide if it's time to finally get real answers. It's in the description box below, including a link to our latest interview. You'll love it. Click on that link today.
This is the United States Space Force, looking for all parties to confirm Operation Freedom 250.
Roger, Space Force Marines in place, standing by.
Navy is standing by.
Army in place, standing by. Air Force standing by. Space Force, Coast Guard 29110, standing by.
Roger, Operation Freedom 250 is a go.
Space Force, Condor 11 is IP inbound for exfil.
Marines, mission is a go. Execute, execute, execute.
Last man down. Move, move, move. All clear, all clear. This all flight is inbound. 1-3 breakdown. Target secured.
For those listening and not watching, those are Marines. And they're revealing one of the cars, race car that has all the military decals on it.
Condor 1-1, this is Space Force.
Update mission status.
This is Condor 1-1. We are egressing for delivery to the United States Navy.
Roger, Condor 1-1. Prepare for delivery. Alright, boys.
Now they're fixing to deliver that vehicle. They're using a military helicopter. Looks like a Marine Corps helicopter. So they're bringing in that car.
Proceed to the drop zone.
30 seconds.
Now the Navy's taking over.
This is Space Force. Confirm you are inbound.
Space Force, Slayer.
And they're bringing the giant hovercraft in with that vehicle.
3, 2, 1, go.
Now they're raiding the beach. And they're fixing to bring it in.
Secure and on delivery to the United States Army.
Roger, Tomcatter. Army, you're a go. You're a go.
Now the Army's a go. Here comes the Army. And there was green smoke. Oh, maybe yellow. It might be yellow smoke. Looked green at first.
We have the Raven 9 arrival, Southwest 3650. Able 3-6, packages on the ground moving into establish escort convoy. Roger, reach 250 is standing.
Now the Air Force is standing by. The vehicle's going in the back of the aircraft.
We got moving from the south.
2745, maintaining 280.
Now they're bringing the aircraft in on the Air Force Bird.
Reach 250, we made contact with core flight. This is Razor 1. We are ready to move the package to the nation's capital.
Acknowledge. Reach 250. Touchdown confirmed.
Space Force, this is Coast Guard. We have visual on the final delivery of the package. Roger, Coast Guard. Operation Freedom 250, mission complete.
Oh, God bless America. Isn't that good? Also, I wanted to show you this view of President Trump arriving in style. Michael Duncan posted this one. Here he comes in. Everybody's excited. And the aircraft flies over Air Force One. Oh, so good. So good. That's how you do it, folks. That's when you just say, man, let's go do some more fireworks out there. Well, all right, let's get into the burn bags that were supposed to be gone. They're not gone. Catherine Herridge, boy, she's just at it. President Trump confirms that classified documents were supposed to be destroyed. Instead, burn bags discovered at FBI headquarters.
So, Catherine, based on your reporting and the lead up to this, which was spot on and absolutely correct, you speak with whistleblowers, you speak with people inside the intelligence community all the time. What do you hear from them about how this needs to be fixed in order to solve these vulnerabilities that we're seeing?
I think one of the first steps has to be to address the retaliation that these whistleblowers have faced. And I know that it was pervasive and severe in one particular case, and that this individual really was kind of assassinated professionally because they stood up for the facts of what happened in the 2020 election, and that still has not been cleared up. I think there is a real frustration among the public that we keep hearing about these fouls, so to speak, and then nobody seems to be held accountable. Not to kind of change gears, but the other thing that really caught my attention was the president's discussion of these burn bags.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
This immediately took me to the burn bags that were discovered on the 9th floor of the FBI, where they found the records about Crossfire Hurricane. That was the original 2016 Russia collusion investigation. They also found what was a CIA note. There's only a paper copy. It was from the CIA director to the FBI, and it had that intelligence about Hillary Clinton planning to paint Trump as a puppet of Russia. Okay, what he said is that those burn bags were supposed to be destroyed.
Yes. So for people who aren't familiar, what is a burn bag? Why would you need a burn bag?
I have lots at home.
I have lots just hanging around just in case I ever need to use them.
So a burn bag is used in classified facilities or sensitive security facilities, and they take documents and rather than shred them, they put them in the bags to be burned so that they are ultimately destroyed. These bags were discovered at FBI headquarters. One was in a closet next to the director's office with some of the most important documents about the Russia collusion investigations. Yeah. And I was struck when the president said, we know now that they were supposed to be destroyed and there was some kind of mistake. And he said that the ODNI, the top intelligence official, FBI, and CIA, they will investigate that.
So much more to come, it seems, including the Department of Homeland Security tomorrow giving an extra briefing.
How about that? Good stuff being exposed even on mainstream media. All right, speaking of exposure, Michelle Maxwell says, America, what is it going to take for our elected officials to actually care about fraud in our elections? Gretchen Whitmer just refused to investigate Michigan's botched primary even after Abdul El Sayed got 3 times more votes in Detroit than there are registered voters. The cover-up continues in Michigan. Governor Gretchen Whitmer said she refuses to investigate the results. I'm not going to give in to conspiracy theories. Whitmer said there were no anomalies with this election. She made that statement despite the fact that Abdul El Sayed got all these and the election's over. She said, when the numbers are this impossible, the governor won't look. It's how this is all playing out. The Democrats are starting to get tired of it. Listen to what Black Americans say about Democrats taking votes for granted.
We've never really been a priority for the Democratic Party. Overall, in politics as a whole, as a Black population.
It's just the way that they don't address our issues that concern actually Black people, especially working class Black people.
I don't think any Democratic Party prioritizes the Black vote because it's always a ploy to get the Black vote, make all these promises, but once that vote is in and stuff like that, then it's operation as normal.
I will say the Black community feels a little disengaged.
Oh, it sure does. You know, there's a guy who went out on the street and he started asking questions.
Which political party founded the KKK?
The Republican Party, of course.
So this is for those listening. He's asking a black guy, who founded it. He goes, the Republican Party found the KKK.
Wrong.
Democrat Party.
Are you serious? For real?
You know which party abolished slavery?
Which party? It was a Democrat Party.
It was actually the Republicans. Republicans were the anti-slavery party established in 1860 with Lincoln.
Abraham Lincoln was a Republican? I didn't know that.
Which political party gave African Americans the right to vote?
Go with the Democrat.
Republican.
Republican. Yeah.
He just kept getting it wrong over and over again. You'd think he would have figured it out. Well, the Democrat Party is hemorrhaging black support with black voters backing Joe Biden at 90% in 2020 and the latest 2026 Fox News polling. It's crashed to 69%. Guys, I think it's lower than that. Come on. Really? I think it's more like 30 to 40%. But that's just me. Maybe there's a lot of hidden, folks that are just scared to tell you what they're actually going to do when they get to the polling booth. Same pattern holds in Michigan. Biden took 93%.
Black vote, it is something that the Democrat Party has been taking for granted. Yeah. Look at these poll numbers. With Joe Biden, they were voting, I believe, in 90%. And that has now dropped significantly down to 69% of the black vote supporting DEMS, a Democrat in their district. So you're seeing some skepticism there for sure.
Yeah, and same thing. When you go specifically to Michigan in the Fox News polling, you see 93% in 2020 for Biden, now down 25% for al-Sayed black voters supporting him.
And Adil al-Sayed will be on Jesse Waters on Monday night, Jesse Waters primetime. So that will be a very exciting interview to watch. I cannot wait.
I just don't understand. Maybe I'm wrong. You guys tell me, but why are you going to bring this guy on national television? For what? To expose him? Is he actually going to answer the questions correctly? Is it to help Democrats hopefully realize what an idiot is? Or are they actually helping him out? I don't know, but he sure is getting a lot of publicity. Oh, well. Anyway, Joe Lang says wait until the black population finds out what the Democrats were doing to the children in Haiti. Q drop 1233. They will lose the black vote once Haiti's revealed. Lost now, awakening. They keep them enslaved. What did Hussein do for the black community versus President Trump? Well, they're waking up to that one too. We've shown you a lot of clips on that. Q 867. So much is open source. So much left to be connected. Why are the children in Haiti in high demand? How are they smuggled out? Adoption process. Local staging ports friendly to Clinton Foundation? Track the donations. Cross against location relative to Haiti. Think logically. The choice to know will be yours. Who are we taught to trust the most? This will not be easy. The end. We are fighting against evil, folks.
How long do you think it might take the DSA to completely take over the Democrats?
Well, they're in the process of doing that right now. And as we
How long will it take the Democrats, Socialists of America to take over?
say on the campaign trail every time, seriously, this is not your father's Democrat Party. They have taken a hard, radical left turn. And it's a dangerous thing. It's a dark harbinger of things to come. It helps us in the midterm because it helps us show this contrast. Remember, they published their plans. They want to abolish the border. They want to abolish prisons, police, the U.S. Senate. They want to remove the president. They want to not fund the Department of War in this dangerous time. It's absolute madness. No private property ownership. We can't do that. They want bigger government, higher taxes, less freedom and less prosperity, and we have delivered exactly the opposite of that, and that's why we're going to stay in charge.
Yep. And let's get to some more numbers from our favorite guy at CNN. How it's working out in Florida.
The sun is shining in the Sunshine State, the great state of Florida. And this is a state that, simply put, has been taken off the board for the most part for Democrats. And we're talking about, we'll start off first in that Senate race, that special Senate election, right, where Angie Nixon won that Democratic primary. Ashley Moody is saying Thank you, God. Thank you, God. The chance that the GOP wins the Florida Senate race, according to Couch Prediction Markets, Ashley Moody, it was 84% on Sunday. Look where it is now. A 95% chance, up like a rocket. It turns out that nominating a self-described Democratic socialist in a state like Florida, where there are a lot of, let's say, Cuban refugees, is not necessarily the smartest idea. The Democratic Party and those Democratic voters essentially probably taking this race off the board come November.
The chances of Republicans, they're higher now. And part of that reason is because of just these huge shifts that have been happening in Florida over the last few years.
Yeah, I mean, Republicans, I remember back in the day, oh, Florida's diversifying, right? That means it'll become more Democratic. Not the case at all. The state has become considerably more Republican. Look at these party registration trends. Look at this. Back in 2016, Democrats had a 3-point edge in party registration over Republicans. By the time of the 2024 election, look at that. It was an 8-point edge for Republicans. You think that's high? Now it's an 11-point edge for the Republican Party. Republicans have gained in a state that Democrats were hoping to make competitive in the 21st century, become more Democratic. In fact, the exact inverse has occurred. It has become considerably more Republican, and Republicans, simply put, have been winning all of the statewide races, the major statewide races. They haven't even elected a Democratic governor since, 1994 in Lawton Childs? My goodness gracious.
Walking Lawton Childs there. Nice reference there. And the congressional delegation also becoming more Republican through redistricting, but also through these shifts.
Through these shifts as well, right? There was a Florida redistricting. The state's becoming more Republican. Democrats are doing well in a lot of other states, but not in Florida. Look at this. It's not just the U.S. Senate race. How about U.S. House seats in Florida? 2 to 3 seats pickups are possible this November. So we're seeing it in the federal elections at the top, and we're also seeing it down in the U.S. House of Representatives. It is a state that is moving to the right, despite a lot of Democrats believing that the diversification would lead it to the left.
And I think one of the most important things to point out is this just isn't a now thing. This has potential implications. Florida turning more red has potential implications going forward.
Yeah, one thing you don't want is to be losing ground in a state that is gaining population. And you're talking about, look at this. Florida electoral votes back in the 1990s, right? The last time that was when the Democrats got their last governor, there was 25. Look at that. 27 by the 2000s, 29 by the 2010s, 30 by the 2020s. And then the 2030 outlook is for more population, 32 electoral votes. And it's now solidly in the Republican camp, at least for now.
This is something that the Democrats are going to have to deal with for some time. Harriet, thank you very much for this.
Thank you, my friend.
We have a lot of news this morning.
A lot of good stuff. Big movements happening. Wanted to show you this one. Legislation is advanced in Arizona to ban illegal aliens from many things. Let's hear this.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Senator Wendy Rogers, LD7, Flagstaff. This is a bill that when it was presented in committee in the Senate, we had a lot of disruptors and whistles and all kinds of commotion. It's contentious, but here is what it is.
This was March 24th, 2026. Having bank accounts. See ya. Sending remittance out of country. Gone. Closing loopholes that allow them to get loans. This is huge. Make it law in all 50 states. We'd love to see it. Let's go over to Boston, shall we? And look at Boston Mayor Wu. Let's hear who she's defending there and making up lies about.
You cannot talk about any achievement that the city of Boston has had in safety, jobs, and economic development, in education, without talking about the Somali community that has lifted our city up. We are proud and we are grateful for our Somali community and for our Somali American neighbors. Boston and the country are clear that hate has no place in our society. We will use every attack to actually strengthen and expand the services available, to empower and work alongside our community members who are already doing so much good in the world and setting an example for the rest of the country.
So they lie, they cheat, they get the votes that they need because of the rigged elections. Then when they get into power, it's the Somali community that built. And if you guys don't agree with me, you're filled with hate. It's hate, I tell you. It's key words they have to use. You guys are filled with hate because you're telling the truth about what's going on in Boston. But you know what? We're going to relish into your attacks. Well, we're looking forward to someday getting those machines fixed, having voter ID, and finally taking people like Wu, who actually didn't win, and have them pack their bags and leave. Now, we're going to get into a video clip from somebody named Casey Musgraves. I guess it's a famous singer. I don't know, but I think she's country. You won't believe what she says. And then we're going to go to other parts of Europe and show what they're doing about illegals in a moment. Have you been dealing with nagging pain, restless nights, constant stress, or just feeling drained? What if the solution was something as simple as wearing a watch? Introducing the new and improved WaveWatch 2.2, the world's first sound frequency therapy watch. This isn't just a timepiece, it's 166 powerful frequency sets, over 1,250 targeted frequencies designed to help your body restore balance naturally. Wear it on your wrist, pick a set for pain relief, deeper sleep, detox, energy boost, stress melt away, or even nerve support, and let gentle, safe sound waves do the work. No apps, no Bluetooth, just pure natural harmony. I use the watch for my back pain and also to regulate my sleep. My friend used it who had terrible knee pain affecting his bowling. Now he bowls pain-free. Another shared in less than a week improvements in liver, hip pain, nerve pain, and emotional balance. It's a blessing. Thousands are experiencing fast-acting wellness without chemicals or side effects. Right now, WaveWatch is giving And We Know fans a special deal. You get 15% off with code AWK. That's code AWK. That's a big savings on the WaveWatch 2.2. Don't wait. Supplies are limited and pre-orders are moving fast. Visit wavewatch.com/pages/AWK today. Use code AWK and take the first step toward feeling better naturally, because when we know better, we do better. Order now. All right, now I bring Casey Musgraves to you.
Center.org, I believe is the website. And it's a wonderful organization, and they help give aid, legal aid, and money to children whose parents have been deported unfairly.
Give money to children of immigrants who have been deported unfairly. And the crowd goes crazy. Really? Is this in America?
It's just these kids need help, and they're like literally the left to bring.
All right. Now let's hear from somebody who's had enough.
And it's a wonderful organization, and they parents have been
come into our country
unfairly.
Yes, it's so unfair to expect people to come into our country legally and be vetted, and us to not have criminals and people that abuse women and children wandering our streets.
It's not even a political thing. It's just these kids need help, and they're like.
What about the kids of Rancho? This woman had 5 children, and an illegal immigrant from El Salvador was sentenced to life without parole for unaliving her. What about her 5 children? What about the families of 18-year-old Hallie and 19-year-old Brady? Their families have to rebuild without their children here after they were both killed in a car crash caused by an illegal from Honduras. What about this 42-year-old woman and her 11-year-old daughter that were also killed in a car crash by someone from Mexico that shouldn't have even been in this country? Or what about her family? I can't even say what happened to her. 37 years old. What about her family? So go ahead and admit it, Casey Musgraves. You stand with people that chose to break the law, and you don't stand with the families that didn't choose for their loved ones to be in the wrong place at a wrong time because some illegal decided to take their life. Because if you did, you'd be asking for money for all of the victims' families. You can't say that you care about women and children in this country when you can't even respect the fact that we don't feel safe with unvetted illegals flooding our borders. But let me know, what do you think? What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments.
Yeah, we know what And We Know folks think. And if you listen to this Casey person, probably a big wake-up call for you, for sure. Now we head over to Suetas and they're had enough. The Spanish girl says she's scared. I live next to the immigration place. You live nearby. How close? About 200 meters. And I'm scared. You can't go on the street. They walk in groups of 20 or 30 people. They look at you like pigs. And this can't be allowed. Not for us. Not our mothers, not our brothers, because they steal, assault, and commit crimes. They should go back to their country already. Now let's head over to this guy right here. You ready?
Long and beautiful border fence to stop illegal migrants.
This is in European Parliament.
10 years ago, Germany and the EU adopted the open borders policy of George Soros. Rapists, extremists, and violent criminals have flooded Europe. It has ruined the lives of millions. Hungary did the exact opposite. We stopped more than 1 million illegal immigrants. Europe, you are welcome. But instead of a reward, we got a fine of 200 million euros, plus a fine of 1 million euros per day until we don't allow illegals into Europe. This is pure madness.
This guy's from Hungary.
The damage you have done to Europe is irreversible. Hungary is showing, however, the way. We won't give in. We won't pay. We will defend our borders. We will defend our women, and we will defend our identity.
Outstanding. Let's go over to, let's see, what do we got here? All right. Illegal immigration is a well-organized business for its orchestrators to make money and Islamize Europe. You have filled our countries with illegal migrants. With the blessings of Germany and France, we pay Islam, which hates us, to turn our cities into ghettos, to turn our cities to rape and murder before our eyes in the name of Allah. We're filled Mohammeds in a Europe that has become unrecognizable. Their solutions support by all means the countries that are the first entry point, such as my homeland Greece, but also Italy and Spain. Those who illegally enter a European territory should not be entitled to either benefits or asylum. They must be arrested, their mobile phones confiscated, transferred to closed centers or uninhabited islands, and deported to their country through interstate agreements to countries outside the European Union. Finally, stop subsidizing their stay and subsidize their deportation. Or beacon should be of the policies of Hungary and Poland, which instead of adopting you to fight so that Islam is not upset, anyone who violates the borders of a country is like violating the door of our house. Illegal immigration is the cancer of Europe, and you are treating it with aspirin. Start mass deportations yesterday. There is money. There are airports. There are detention centers. Gather them in detention centers and deport them before Europe dies. We want our countries, our identity, and our values back. And if you supposedly sensitive socialists are looking for racists, look in your mirrors. You are the biggest racist against Europeans. Oh, you fire. That's just fire. All right, let's go into Poland, a politician. How are you not ashamed to promote something like the Migration Pact, which leads to millions of women and children in Europe feeling unsafe on the streets of their own cities? You're responsible for every rape, every assault, every tragedy caused by the influx of illegal immigrants because you are the one who invites these people here to Europe. And for what you are doing, you should go to prison, not to the European Commission. How about that? Do you hear the crowd? I want you to hear this.
Napływem nielegalnych imigrantów, bo to pani tych ludzi zaprasza tutaj na teren Europy i za to, co pani robi, powinna pani trafić do więzienia, a nie do Komisji Europejskiej.
You know, I didn't know that President Trump, this is a long time ago, he said this, I believe when he was running for office the first time around.
Donald J. Trump is calling for a total and complete shutdown of Muslims entering the United States until our country's representatives can figure out what the hell is going on. You have no choice.
He also said this recently over the weekend, exposing Michigan Senate candidate Syed.
For Senate Abdul El Sayed. Abdul, admitted openly that he wants to pack the Supreme Court with 23 far-left justices to shred the Constitution of the United States. His sister, very close relationship, celebrated the terrorist slaughter of babies on October 7th. His mother worked for an organization that gave hundreds of thousands of dollars to a gentleman named Osama bin Laden. Have you heard of him? Knocked down the World Trade Center. She gave him a lot of money, and he recently campaigned with a communist fanatic who says that America deserved 9/11. We deserved it, right? We deserved all that death, destruction. In Texas, the Democrat nominee for...
So, he said that recently. Now, let's go over to the new Democrat senator who's taken Eric Swalwell's place in California, a practicing Muslim.
You're the first Afghan American elected to Congress. You're going to be the first to ever serve there. What does that mean to you?
It's an honor of a lifetime. It is the American dream to go from foster care to, refugee parents to Congress. That is the fabric and the beauty of the American dream.
Nope. It's your dream, but it shouldn't have come true. Obviously, it was rigged for her because we know California is the worst state for rigging their elections. So, of course, they put her into power.
It is possible. So I'm very proud of that.
Democratic State
You're proud of the lies that got you in there, huh?
Senator Aisha Wahab won a special runoff election to finish former Rep. Eric Swalwell's term in California's 14th district. Swalwell recently resigned amid sexual misconduct allegations, which he denies. Ahead of the election, super PACs aligned with the American Israel Public Affairs Committee, or AIPAC, poured millions of dollars into ads attacking Wahab and bolstering her opponent, Democrat Melissa Hernandez.
Should AIPAC be afraid of you in Congress? And do you support U.S. taxpayer funding weapons for Israel?
No, I don't support weapons going out of this country. I think that there's a time and place for war, but just needless war is unnecessary, and I've been very clear about that.
All right, so she targets Islamophobia, abolishing ICE, open borders, pathway to citizenship for all illegal immigrants, Medicare for all, and supports LGBTQ rights. Go figure, huh? She's the first Afghan American elected to Congress. Not elected, selected. That's why I added in there for Wall Street Apes. Let's hear what Wall Street Apes has to say about all this.
Senator?
So this new California rep is going to be the first Afghan elected to Congress. Well, we all know what that means. Is she Muslim? And of course the answer is yes, she is a Muslim. What a shocker. So what does she support?
Yep, I already got through all this, what she supports and more. Now, let's go through something else that CNN actually covered about Islam. This is very disturbing for those that have children that you don't want to see what they do with these 9-year-olds and marrying them off. It's this video. It's just to kind of wake you up a little bit so you understand exactly how this works.
My father has sold me because we don't have bread, rice, and flour. He has sold me to an old man.
All right, I'm not going to show you the whole thing. It bothers me. Bottom line is, 9-year-old sold to a 7-year-old for $2,500. She's covered up. She's scared. She's crying. 9 years old. They escort her out, give her to the 70-year-old, and she starts pulling away. She doesn't want to go, but it doesn't matter. She's going anyway. Paid for, thrown in the car, and gone. Just showing you what Muslims do, okay? Are you sitting down? America over the last 55 years, says C3, welfare programs, 900% increase. U.S. national debt, 10,500% increase. Foreign-born population, 450% increase. On taxpayer-paid assistance, 150% increase. Illegal immigrant population, 4,900% increase. A planned demolition of our country. Real quick on the money side, Trump just hit Canada with 50% tariffs. Canada wants all the benefits of being an American state without actually being one. For years, they've slammed our farmers with massive tariffs. No more. Trade Rep Jameson Greer laid it out. Trump's policies also keep out goods made with slave labor. Most countries don't even bother. Canada says they'll retaliate. Good. America first means America first. Our farmers, our workers, our borders, and our rules. Gunnar Engelman, thank you for that. Also, if you guys didn't know, gold futures surged above $4,700 an ounce for the first time since May 14th. It's also silver's at almost $70. That's right. And also President Trump posted this, the Fed building, when will it ever end? Well, we talked about gold destroying the Fed in our video Saturday. I hope you guys checked it out with Dr. Kirk Elliott. $40 trillion U.S. debt as Treasury enters the end game. Silver up more than 20% in a month. It's happening just as we predicted in August from Dr. Kirk Elliott, and it's going to continue to climb. What a great interview we had. Hope you guys check this out and listen to him.
Like 38% in a few days.
Yeah, it's
now,
true.
Cryptocurrency is very volatile, right? I mean, it could easily just go down. But what these price movements are telling everybody that is this game is finding traction in a direction that we've been talking about. And that's exciting.
Yeah, that is so good. I mean, and we know.com/gold. All you have to do is reach out to them, folks. Simply click on that website below the video. It has a phone number. They'll pray with you. They'll answer your questions, and you'll realize, wow, I want to jump on board while it's good. Now, Senator Lindsey Tickner, Republican Smithfield, Kentucky State Senator. She is exposing $400,000 in taxpayer dollars a month in wasteful spending by the school district officials for things like plane tickets, plays, restaurants, etc. that is supposed to go for the children's education. Thank you, Lee Rain, for this. This came about after an audit of a reported $17.8 million budget shortfall. In the end, the school superintendent, Demetrius Wiggins, announced his retirement. He should have been fired and charged. This just demonstrates the amount of fraud going on everywhere in our country. That's right. So let's head over to this. You remember Enes Kanter, I believe it's say your name. He wore a shirt, woman, noun, adult, human, female, to a WNBA basketball game. Remember, he says, I'm going to declare that I'm a woman, and I'm going to start playing for the WNBA. Remember, he actually played for the NBA. Look what happened in the game the other day. He was standing there, and one of the players started just looking at him and cursing him out, acting tough. He stands up and opens his arms, and you can see his wingspan is just huge.
After Natasha Cloud got that bucket, she wanted her voice
screaming and yelling. She gets pulled away, and then he got kicked out of the game because he was wearing that shirt. No other reason. And she attacked him, couldn't stand it that he was actually declaring what a woman really is, acting like a fool. And WNBA continues to get their hits as they don't even know what a woman is. But it doesn't matter. Look at this commercial that was put out combined with the two guys who are basically, they're calling the WNBA out for what they're doing. What is a woman? The question mark on the screen. They're bouncing pink basketballs.
What is a woman?
Being a woman
Is not so black and white, and size doesn't matter.
That's our motto.
Okay. What does being a woman mean to you?
Buckets. Buckets. Apparently us.
WNBA. Ball is ball. They're taking it into overtime. They're calling them out, and boy, they're freaking out at WNBA. You know they're freaking out because they got so many men already playing in that sport, and it's getting good. All right, now let's look at the transgenderism in academia. Johnny Bell posted this. A woman pretending to be a man rewards a man pretending to be a woman with an honorary degree. This is how the insanity works, folks.
Saoirse Amathea Tweedale has been actively involved in diversity and inclusion initiatives throughout her 23-year career in the civil service, from chairing the Job Centre Plus and Department for Work and Pensions gender networks to helping set up the department's first transgender network. She has a proud history of national and regional community activism, human rights advocacy, and civil service and union achievements, in addition to decades of LGBTQIA+ community work in Bradford and West Yorkshire. Saoirse's persistence to fight for change in LGBTQIA+ and women's rights over her lifetime has been met quite often both with direct discrimination and bullying and harassment from people who would never even take the time to get to know what an amazing woman she is.
What an amazing woman he is. And if you guys are looking closely, I don't know if you can see this, but I'm going to zoom in for those that have your screen. You guys notice what's around the neck? What do you see? Almost looks like a pentagram, doesn't it? Satanic. Kind of reminds me of Romans chapter 1. You go to verses, I believe it's 18 through 32. Now, Romans 1:28. These folks, once they get involved in this immorality, this type of behavior that they're into, it says they did not see fit to acknowledge God. God gave them up to a reprobate mind to do what ought not to be done. Their minds have been completely given up. Demonic and evil. Speaking of evil and demonic, you guys know Baylor University? You guys know that's supposed to be the largest so-called Christian Baptist university in the world? They bend the knee to Islam. That's right, they did halal meals. And they hosted a gay Christian rally this past spring to counter another event on campus. The event was organized by Professor Greg Garrett, who announced last year that he proudly supports homos and transgenders. He invited the president of the Human Rights Campaign, Kelly Robinson, a Black lesbian Catholic, to speak to college students about their lived experience. According to these two geniuses, they want to provide an alternative safe space. The Department of Education is going to give them another $150 million in federal funding into Baylor University for 26-27 academic year. It's the garbage that they're bringing. And now they're offering halal meals. Did you know that? For Muslims at Baylor University, out of all places. Now, you remember the lady who took the life of her 3 children, planned the whole thing out, and then you've got all these folks raising money for her and all. Well, somebody posted a picture of some strange things we've been under recently in our country. He deserved to die because he was a Christian. Remember, they said that. He deserved to die because he was white. Remember? Guy was killed. Oh, he deserved to die. He was white. They deserved to die because their mother had postpartum depression. See, this is how they think, these folks given up to debased minds. He deserved to die because he worked for an insurance company. All these folks, they always figure out ways to find a way to make sure that death is good for them. In case you were wondering, Kevin Bass showed us too that abortions are number 1 cause of death in the United States of America, with more than 1 million American children aborted every year. There's many abortions as deaths from heart disease and cancer combined. Just figured you guys might want to know that. If any of you feel guilty and were involved in this type of activity of abortion, you can reach out to us, send us an email. We will connect you with the right agency to help you get through it. Okay? Just want to make sure you know we're here to support you. Now, some more information about this this case where the lady took the 3 children.
Oh, look, it's a demon with a PhD.
Stop thinking about these kids as people and think about them as ceramic vases for...
Listen, I can give y'all all the data in the world. You know how there's 1,700 child fatality maltreatment cases every single year, and roughly 900 of them are done by the mothers. But y'all don't care about that. So we're going to try something different. We're going to sit in the time that it took one of these children to lose their life.
So she's going to sit here for a minute. And we're on the 22 seconds, and then I'm going to go to where she finally starts talking. So 1 full minute.
Now imagine that she did that 3 separate times.
3 times,
and
3 minutes.
I guarantee you it wasn't silent.
Nope.
But they're just ceramic bases. It is that kind of logic and therapy that has gotten us to the point that 60% of child fatalities among parents involve the mother. 30% of them do it alone. They weren't vases that she, oopsie, I broke it. They were children that she planned out, coordinated, and then executed each one of them one by one. in one of the slowest, worst ways imaginable to go. Y'all are all evil. And I can't wait for the day that God smashes on y'all's head like he did the serpent. For more unpopular hot takes.
So wanted to make sure that you saw that, understand how this is playing forward. Somebody put a cartoon together, Punch Bag Studios. The first leaders of feminism would turn into the most insane misogynists if they could see what their actions would lead to.
Give women the vote and the whole country will be damned.
Nonsense! You just want to keep us down.
Well, how about two of you get into my machine and tell me what you see?
And the patriarchy! And the patriarchy! Let's go, Lindsay!
My farts are now 50% off. Get them now, losers.
Okay, we've seen enough. And?
So she gets a slap and says, basically, change your mind, with a few cuss words. Wanted to show you a video of how we should be taking care of our babies. Here's a man reading the Bible to his little one, to his baby. First bedtime stories should be from the Bible. Wanted to show this the other day, but skipped over it. But it's important that we understand. It's one of the things that I love doing with my children. I remember when they were little, I'd come home after a long day of work, listen to a couple of sermons on radio, listen to Focus on the Family, talk to my wife, eat and more, and then when it was time for the kids to go to bed, as they we'd pray for them, and as they laid there, I'd say, hey, let me take my Bible and just read it in front of them while they're falling asleep. Doesn't mean that life was perfect. We went through all types of things. The enemy attacked our family so many years. And if you guys want to read about it, you can. You can actually just thought of this just now. It doesn't mean I was putting this all together just now. Crossed my mind. If you go to andweknow.com and go to our shop, you can get my book. I tell you all about the things that we went through. Remember who we're fighting for. This is from the Department of Education. Make education great again. We have to remember who we're fighting for.
I know I lied to you all and said that I wasn't going to make another video, but here are more facts that everyone's choosing to ignore. This whole, she was a married single mom raising those kids herself. The 8-month-old baby was born. The 3- and 5-year-old were in daycare full time. Patrick took a 12-week paternity leave and they hired a nanny to help with the newborn baby. After the 12-week leave was over, Patrick could see that Lindsay needed more help and support, so he decided to move his office into home and started working from home, so they decided they didn't need the nanny anymore because Patrick was going to stay home. And you guys are saying that this woman had no support? That is false. A key factor that you guys are missing of this whole entire thing, and you're letting this woman play on your emotions, she was a labor and delivery nurse herself.
Wow.
She was in this career path. Lindsay knew, she knew, if I tell my doctors that I am hearing voices and having thoughts of harming my children, they're going to be taken away from me. She knew that, okay? She is smart, she's calculated, and this was premeditated. Any woman going through actual psychosis, especially with the career path she was in, being very educated on this, she would have gone to her doctors and said, these kids, I need them away from me because I think I'm going to kill them. She didn't do that. Why? Because she wanted the opportunity to kill her 3 kids. She Googled how to kill. She Googled how long it would take Patrick to go from the house to the restaurant. Okay. She murdered 1 child. Patrick called. She missed the call. She called back after killing 1 child and said, we're good here. Everything's fine. We're fine. Because he was so neglectful, right? But he called her to check in on her. And then she went on to strangle 2 more children. And then, like, you guys are arguing, well, it was like the medicine putting her in psychosis, like all of that. She was telling doctors that she was anxious and depressed she tried this medicine, but this medicine was giving her insomnia. And then the doctors were trying to work with her to find a good medication, but now you guys are saying like the Zoloft sent her into psychosis. I thought you were trying to argue that it was postpartum psychosis directly from giving birth and her hormones being up. It's like
Just want to make sure you catch this. Thank you, Peyton Godfrey on TikTok, for putting this together. Good research. Too bad big influencers out there with millions of subscribers like Candace didn't catch on to this and is supporting the mom. A lot going on, a lot of comms. Ultra Magadine caught this one. President Trump posted 2 truths, which are pictures of himself signing a piece of granite on the new helipad for Marine One on the south lawn at the White House. And they have a timestamp of 4:24 p.m. 4:24 says fully operational and resolved. Well, let's talk about this. The Supreme Court just ruled that President Trump can continue construction of the White House ballroom, which he follows up with signing a piece of granite at the new helipad being constructed in conjunction with the ballroom on the south lawn of the White House. Saying that, let's look at the timestamp of 4:24, fully operational. Back to construction on the White House ballroom and helipad. See how that connects? Resolved by the United States Supreme Court. Added in by Ultra Magadine. If you're paying attention to our comms, you'll understand exactly what President Trump is telling us. The construction of the White House ballroom, also known as the military ballroom complex, is now fully operational again, and the legal dispute to stop construction has been resolved. One more thing. Freedom 250 Grand Prix in Washington, D.C. Thank you, Secret Service. That was posted by Dan Scavino. Guys, check this out. From Ripcord. Ripcord caught this. Dan Scavino posted that thank you to Secret Service. 8:52 p.m. is when he posted it. 8:52 was actually on Q Drop 279, December 6, 2017. And it says this. Why is the Secret Service now protecting key members of no such agency? You see it? You see how all these comms have been coming together? Do you see how the weekend played out with Go Green, the operation, how these aircraft are flying over with the military, how they're controlling everything that's happening day after day? The 1.7 mile track, President Trump going around that track 7 times. It's amazing. Let's continue to stay in prayer.
For nothing is secret that shall not be made manifest, neither anything hid that shall not be known and come abroad.
Let's pray. Heavenly Father, we come before you now. Just again, we are overwhelmed by how you've put together so many folks, intelligent folks. You knew them before they were even in the womb. They were born, they grow up, they learn all types of things, get a Q clearance. Before you know it, they're working together to formulate a plan to ensure that we, the people, wake up. While that's happening, all the evil's being destroyed left and right. You've heard the cries of the people as they cried out to you for the children, for those that have been put basically can't make ends meet, put into slavery, the immigrants taking over our country, Islam taking over our country, so many politicians in the pocketbook of China and other enemies. And the wake-up call has been tremendous, and we are learning so much. Thank you. We ask that you continue to protect those that are helping us. Watch over them and their families and more. We need your help also. Without you, we can do nothing. We ask this in the name of Jesus Christ, our Savior. Amen. Thank you for your support, folks. Thank you for your prayers. We definitely need them. A lot going on. A lot of things happening with And We Know and our team. We're doing great. With your prayers, we can sense those. For now, this is LT Semper Fi with And We Know. Signing out.
Turned up in a huge way this weekend. And it's quite simple. History. We're in it to win it, bud. 10-4. 3, 2, 1. And you can hear the crowd. History in the mission. Changes the game totally.